The 1960 Euro was the first ever UEFA European Championship. It was initially proposed in 1927, but would not occur until 33 years later. Similarly to the early World Cups, this tournament had a chaotic build-up. But why did it take so long to organise the tournament? What was so chaotic about the preparation? Finally, who became the inaugural European champions? This is the story of the first ever Euro tournament. Before moving on to the video, I would like to thank you all again for your support. The channel has now reached 2,000 subscribers. This will be my first video in a series covering each Euro tournament. So, if you would like to learn more, please consider hitting like and subscribing. For those new to the channel, consider viewing my now completed World Cup series. Thank you very much. UEFA General Secretary Henri Delaunay was the first proponent of an international European Championship in 1927, but the idea gained little traction then. International tournaments were still in their infancy, as the first World Cup was still 3 years away. Most tournaments were regional. Examples include the British Home Championship, featuring England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland. The Central European International Cup was another example. World War II further delayed the tournament. In its aftermath, Europe was in no shape to host football tournaments. The tournament would finally start to gain momentum in 1954. UEFA set up a committee to curate the idea. It was then presented at UEFA's inaugural Congress meeting in 1955. The suggestion was to split the tournament into two parts: a league tournament the year before the World Cup and a knockout tournament the following year. The competition would also be a World Cup qualifier to prevent fixture congestion. FIFA had to approve the tournament, but they were initially resistant. FIFA General Secretary Kurt Gassmann wrote that he did not entirely agree with the ideas that were presented concerning a UEFA competition and the qualifying competition for the 1958 World Cup. FIFA was concerned that a European tournament in the same year as the World Cup would provide unwelcome competition and negatively impact revenue. Instead, he suggested that the tournament be held 2 years before the World Cup, to separate the knockout stage of the European competition from the preliminary stage of the FIFA competition. The UEFA committee then revamped the idea, so the entire tournament was a knockout competition. This was to reduce fixture congestion. Despite this, the project was postponed in the 1956 and 1957 Congress meetings. In the 1958 Congress meeting, the discussion became intense. Italian FA President Ottorino Barassi said he did not consider the creation of this competition as desirable, as it would restrict the international calendar and risked exciting national passions. Despite this, most delegates voted in favour of launching the tournament. 17 teams decided to enter: Austria, Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, Denmark, East Germany, France, Greece, Hungary, Norway, Poland, Portugal, the Republic of Ireland, Romania, Spain, Turkey, the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia. There were notable absentees, such as all the British teams, Italy and West Germany. The first tournament was called the European Nations Cup. Unfortunately for Henri Delaunay, he never saw his dream come to fruition. He died in 1955, but in his honour, the trophy was named after him. The qualifying tournament was a knockout competition played over 2 legs. However, because 17 teams entered the tournament, an extra round of 1 tie had to be played. The Republic of Ireland and Czechoslovakia were randomly selected for the preliminary round. Ireland won the first leg 2-0, but were thumped 4-0 away from home. The round of 16 proved to be a very high-scoring affair. The Soviet Union beat Hungary 4-1. France annihilated Greece 8-2. Romania held off Turkey 3-2. Austria thumped Norway 6-2. Yugoslavia beat Bulgaria 3-1. Portugal beat East Germany 5-2. Spain swatted Poland aside 7-2. Czechoslovakia defeated Denmark 7-3. The winner of the quarter-finals would qualify for the main tournament. The Soviet Union was drawn against Spain under General Franco's rule. Franco remembered the Russians' role in the Spanish Civil War. Franco also objected to flying the Soviet flag and playing their anthem when they visited Spain. Just 2 days before the squad was to fly out, Franco gave the order not to go. The decision angered Alfredo Di Stefano, who had already missed successive World Cups. Spanish Federation President Alfonso de la Fuente simply said, "Orders from above." Franco said no. The Soviets received a bye into the final tournament due to Spain pulling out. Nikita Khrushchev joked, "Right winger scores an own goal." France played Austria. They won the first leg 5-2 thanks to a Just Fontaine hat-trick. Then they won the second leg 4-2 to secure a 9-4 win overall. Portugal played Yugoslavia. Portugal started well and won the first leg 2-1 in Lisbon. However, they were no match in Belgrade, losing 5-1 and 6-3 overall. Czechoslovakia played Romania. The Czechs won 2-0 away and 3-0 at home for a 5-0 overall win. The 1960 European Nations Cup was played between July 6th and 10th. The final 4 teams were Czechoslovakia, France, the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia. All the games were held at the Parc des Princes in Paris, France. France played Yugoslavia in a thrilling semi-final. Just 11 minutes in, Milan Galic opened the scoring for Yugoslavia with a beautiful strike from 25 yards out. Just 1 minute later, Jean Vincent equalised for France with a flick-on header. Lucien Hunt gave France the lead in the 43rd minute with a strike from the edge of the box. France took a 3-1 lead in the 53rd minute through Marian Wisniewski, who shot from close range a low cross. Ante Zanetic made it 3-2 just 2 minutes later with a shot from an acute angle. France made it 4-2 after 62 minutes thanks to another Hood goal. Incredibly, the game was still not over. In the 75th minute, Tomislav Kniez volleyed in from close range to make it 4-3. Just 3 minutes later, Dražan Jerkovic bundled a low cross over the line to make it 4-4. 1 minute later, he scored again with a tap-in after a save fell to him. Incredibly, Yugoslavia completed the comeback and won 5-4. This remains the highest scoring Euro game in the history of the finals. The other semi-final was played between Czechoslovakia and the Soviet Union. Valentin Ivanov opened the scoring for the Soviets in the 34th minute. He scored with a close-range shot after receiving a pass. He scored again in the 56th minute when he drove into the box, cut inside and fired it in. In the 66th minute, Viktor Ponedeljnik sealed a 3-0 win with a powerful shot into the near post. A third-place playoff was played between the Czechs and France on July 9th. Czechoslovakia won 2-0, thanks to goals from Vladimir Budnik and Ladislav Pavlovic. The 1960 European Nations Cup final was played on July 10th. The match was played under poor weather conditions. Yugoslavia started very strongly in the early stages of the game. Legendary keeper Lev Yashin was forced to make saves from 2 free kicks. Dragoslav Sekuralac then managed to beat Yashin, but sent his shot wide. In the 43rd minute, they got a deserved goal. Dražen Kurkovic sent in a low cross that was deflected into the goal. Who scored the goal is inconclusive. It was either Milan Galic of Yugoslavia, or it was an own goal by Igor Neto. The goal, in general, is credited to Galic. The crucial moment of the game happened during half-time. Former Soviet player Boris Kuznetsov added spikes to his side's boots to cope better in the extremely wet conditions. The Soviets made a fast start in the second half. Just 4 minutes in, they got their equaliser. Valentin Bubukin hit a left-footed shot from 25 yards out, which goalkeeper Blagoj Vidanic mishandled. The ball fell to Slava Mitrović, who scored from close range. The Soviet Union had late chances, but the game went into extra time. Jerkovic had a great chance in extra time, but headed the ball wide from a corner. Zanetic played a low cross in the second half, but Galic missed the chance to score. In the 113th minute, Ivanov played a cross to Ponedeljnik, who headed the ball across goal and into the far corner of the net. Yugoslavia pushed for a goal, and despite a late goalmouth scramble, they could not score. The Soviet Union won 2-1 and became the first ever European champions. Ponedeljnik later said, "The Soviet national team became the first ever European champions. No one can forget such moments of glory. As for myself, that 113th minute winner was the most important of my whole career. That was the star moment of my life. Well, there you have it. That was the story of the first ever Euro tournament. I will be continuing this series with the 1964 edition in 2 weeks. So, if you would like to learn more, please do subscribe. Thanks for watching.